Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As you can see by the title of today's video, we're going to go over the top 5 point guard builds in NBA 2K20. Now how the tables have turned. At number 5, we have the Playmaking Sharpshooter, which used to be number 1 by far, or maybe at the worst number 2. Now, as you guys know, the whole topic of this video is how the game has changed a lot. And now I'm just showing you guys the best way to make these builds, especially with the new changes in them, where I feel like interior defense is going to be valued a lot more when it comes to backcourt players and guards, because ISO with slashing players is just going to become more of the meta, if you will. So anyway, like I said, I'm showing you guys the best way of making these builds in my opinion. Like I said, this is my opinion. If you have any disagreements or different ways of making it, feel free to let me know. But anyway, this is the final image right here of the badges for the Playmaking Sharpshooter. So, like I said, I know this video is going to feel very free-flowing and fast. That's how I want it, and just understand that. Now, I want to get one thing out of the way before we go too far with this video. I want y'all to know, I had a lot of comments talking about, or not a lot, there was just this one dude who was like, yo, this video feels very rushed, you made these builds super quick. Listen, I spend literally an hour, literally just planning all of the ratings adjustments that I have to make. Right here, you just see the fine-tuned ones that I'm showing you. I already know what that does, and I'm showing you why to do it. I already know what that does. So anyway, long story short, I spend a lot of time putting these together, and I just want y'all to understand that. I don't just throw all these ratings together and be like, oh, this, and that. I understand all the badge differences, all the ratings you need to tweak in certain areas, all that stuff. So anyway, to talk about the Play Sharp a little bit, like I said, it's been nerfed a little bit. I would recommend any build you make now to be 6'5". The reason being, you don't lose a lot of speed, and the big concern used to be ball control. Now with this build, you still have the 87 ball control. You have good three-pointer as well. You have more height for the defense as well, and if you just don't value finishing as much, this will be a good thing for you if you like to play as an outside, and I think it'll be a good pair with an inside big. That's my opinion. So anyway, I would maybe recommend go Sharp Takeover with this, but if you think Playmaker's more in your style, feel free to. If you love the 2v2 court, maybe go Shot Creator too. At the end of the day, I'm leaving these takeovers completely up to you. Takeover is all about preference. Whatever you prefer the most, that is what I recommend to go with. There's really no true answer for takeover, except for on a couple that, maybe slash takeover is way more dominant than any other takeover. But anyway, coming in number 4, we have the Pure Play. So again, I'm just showing you the best way of making these. This one, I would recommend to go speed invert pie chart with the physicals rather than full speed, where you need more of the speed to make up for it with that Play Sharp, because you just don't get high speed to start with. But with this Pure Play, you get great speed, you lower the weight, you get excel and vertical really good. Now, I'm showing 2 different ways of making this, and we're going to go ahead and show the first one right here, which is a little bit less playmaking, a little bit less shooting, and then not the highest finishing. And I'm going to go ahead and show, understand this, you need 40 standing dunk to be able to do standing dunks. Now, when you make your player taller, as you can see, it's 34 right here. When you make your player taller, that goes up. So understand a lot of this. You just got to trust me on this, all right? I measured everything out for builds that should care about standing dunk. I made it sure that they do get 40, which allows you to get standing dunk packages. And that's big time, too. You guys need to understand that. A lot of these things, you're taking a couple ratings and badge hits for the animations. That's just kind of how it works. Now, anyway, like I said, this is how I'm recommending to make the Pure Play. At first glance, you see at 6'5", again, 41 standing dunk. Now, check this out. The way that I just made it right there is how to get it with Sharp Takeover. So we're going to go ahead and show this. I'm just showing slight ratings adjustments you can make. So anyway, how I just made it. This is how you get it with Sharp Takeover. You do all that stuff, boom, spot up shooter takeover right there. Now, the better way badge-wise and rating-wise, in my opinion, would be to lower your shooting just a little bit to 14. And you're going to see, you go from 15 shooting and 21 playmaking to 14 shooting and 25 playmaking. So you lose 1 shooting badge for 4 playmaking. If that's in your cards and you like that, feel free to. But at the end of the day, you're going to see what happens. You lose the Sharp Takeover. And in my opinion, that is going to be a nice thing to have on this build, especially at the fact that you don't really get great driving dunk ability. Now, later in the video, understand, we have the Playmaking Defender, the 2-way slash play. And that's one that you want slash takeover on, so little adjustments like this don't even matter. And you see, I'm just showing the small weight adjustments that you should make with these. Now, what I will say too, if you want to go big on the wingspan, feel free to, but you cannot get Sharp Takeover if you do so. So just understand that is how you do that right there. So that's my number 4 build. Reason that's a little lower, I just feel like Pure Play's ISO will be good, but I mean, as far as a form of ISO, there are two builds ahead of this, in my opinion, that really like really do embody the true definition of ISO. Now, number 3 is one of them. We got the BP build, aka it's the finisher sharp. Now, I'm making this a little bit different than other people made it because, again, I think backcourt defense is really a lot to be valued at this point in the game. So you're going to see I go a little bit lower on the shooting. I think you should sacrifice a little bit of shooting. If you ISO a lot with this build, I would definitely recommend to go with something like this. Like, if you like to play on the 2s, listen, you got to have defense, bro. It's really just as simple as that. You have to have defense. You're not going to be able to get away with, like, and also I would maybe recommend to be 6'5" as well. I'm gonna show you that's what I do with this build right here. But anyway, you see, you know, you get 15, 16, 13, and 10. In my opinion, that's a good little balance right there. Now, I'm showing you also, you can have 9 defense, and I'm just, you can have 9 defense, and I'm just showing you if you want to value into your D a little bit more, then you can drop this just slightly. So you're going to see, boom, we try to make these little small adjustments. I'm showing you guys the very detailed ways of making these builds properly. So you see right there, you can get 15, 16, 13, 9, I believe. So at 6'5", I would recommend to make this. Again, height and just block rating and interior D are going to be pretty important in my opinion. I mean, on 2s, you're going to run into a lot of like 2 bigs or 2 locks kind of sets. And to counteract that, like I said, you're going to want to be 6'5". I promise you that. Now, if you want this with sharp takeover, feel free to. Out the box, that's probably the best thing to go with. But when you do hit like 97 or 98 overall and unlock those contact dunks, or I think, yeah, 97, you unlock both of them, or all 3 of the contact dunk packages. That's when slash takeover becomes a lot more usable. Now, if you like to play Pro-Am, I'd probably recommend Sharp or Playmaker Takeover. Slash Takeover is very tough to use in Team Pro-Am. There's just too many bodies around. But if you do play Park, I would definitely recommend Slash Takeover. That is a bucket. It's just a walking bucket, bro. And they have to play off of you so much as well, and it just opens up your three-pointer even more. And you still get three-pointer boost with that. Now, let me go back here and talk to y'all about this, all right? Some people are going to feel some type of way about this. I put the two-way Sharp at number 2 on my list now. Now, here's the reason, all right? I'm going to go ahead and just explain this as we show how to make this. I would go with the speed pie chart as far as the physical profile goes. Obviously, you're lacking a little bit in the vert at that point, but you do want the speed. At this point in 2K right now, and don't be wrong, I'm going to look like a complete fool for putting y'all onto these builds if they do revert the behind the back in any way. But the thing is, this build, one of my homies, Kitchen, has it, and also Cook has it as well. Now, they made it 6'4". I would recommend to make it 6'5". The reason they made it 6'4" was the ball control purposes. But if you don't rely on that behind the back all that much, making it 6'5" is going to be truly dominant as a defender, and then you can still run pick and roll offense with this. It's going to be it's going to be a really nice thing to have, all right? So anyway, like I said, I would make this 6'5". You're going to see the difference. So you only lose 1 ball control. Now, don't be wrong, the wingspan change, it also like makes that a difference. But I mean, look at this right here. You get 80 block rating, 85 defensive rebound, and 65 interior D, while also still having 88 speed. And we're gonna go ahead and adjust the weight right here, and you'll see the Excel improves as well as the vertical does as well. And then same with the lateral quickness. Again, you don't lose much from going from 6'3" to 6'5", and especially not from 6'4" to 6'5" as well. So anyway, the best advice I can give is go low on that weight, low on the wingspan probably too. The thing is, I want y'all to use this as a ball handler. So you're going to see, you get 78 ball control. Yes, I know, it's not the best. I understand, I know that, all right? Now, the thing is, depending on what takeover you use, you could actually still do a lot of the, like, you know, behind the back related stuff. Or if you hit a high overall with this build and play with floor general, you can actually, like, utilize this pretty well as well. Now, one thing I'll recommend, if you play with 3v3, if you play with this build on 3v3, if you play with a Playmaking Defender at the 3, and he can carry floor general, and you run 2 of these at the 1 and the 2, and then a Playmaking Defender at the 3, that is a lethal combo in my opinion. That is like a tough lineup to deal with. Now, with that comes, you know, the response of, well, Laker, why don't you make a play defender? I want to, all right? Listen, I really want one. But the thing is, obviously, badge grinding is just a problem. Now, props to y'all who are looking up this video and, like, you know, trying to make new builds just because the game changed. That's big props to y'all. But anyway, I was just showing a couple different instances where you could, like, make the wingspan a little bigger if you want to be, like, a more, like, lockdown-ish kind of feel. But going small wingspan is definitely going to be the move if you want to go with more of, like a you know, ball handler option. But at the end of the day, it's not the biggest deal because, like I said, speed is what dominates the pick and roll anymore. It's not going to be ball control. Now, again, I understand a lot can change. Maybe they even take this behind the back and put it back in the game. I don't know. Maybe they do it. But I'm just showing you guys what's going to be really good and dominant at this juncture in the game. All right. So, number one, we have the two-way slash play. A lot of people know of this build. I call it the Playmaking Defender. Obviously, you know, around 6'5" again is going to be the way to go with this build. Now, the tough thing about this build is figuring out how to make the badges proper, because you're going to see at this point right here, you would think this is like the amount of defense that you would want because you want more finishing. I understand y'all want more finishing, and as soon as you take anything down on the ball control or on the pass accuracy, you just rapidly start losing playmaking badges. So this is a very controversial build. There's a lot of stuff to it. You could add D-board, and then you have good defensive badges, but again, you're lacking finishing badges. So in conclusion, this is what I suggest to do. There's a lot of ways you can go with this. I recommend, and you see I have the driving dunk at 30, the standing dunk at 31. There's a reason for that, all right? So, and actually, I guess I put it at 35. So whoop-de-doo. I was a little bit wrong, all right? Anyway, I'm showing you the differences you can make with this. So you see, then it's like, oh, well, now you need 34 standing dunk for this to function properly. I'm making all these adjustments. Boom, we go up to 6'5". That puts you at 40 standing dunk. Now, don't be wrong. This doesn't matter at all. You could have like 35. You could have 35 or 36 standing dunk. And once you hit 99 and all that stuff, you still unlock the packages. But I would recommend, as far as animations go, you don't want to get too dicey with that. All right, I would definitely recommend not to do so. So anyway, in conclusion with this build, 178 is the way to go as far as you get like an interior defense boost, and then like you don't lose anything really. Now, here's the thing about this: the wingspan is tough to figure out with this build as well. So you could either, you know, really want the 86 ball control, and obviously if you go high on the wingspan, you take that hit on the 3-point rating. That does hurt to some extent, but obviously the badges don't change. And at the end of the day, if you want to be truly a lockdown, maybe you want to go with the big wingspan. All right, so here's the final look at like what it looks like if you go max wingspan. You have great defense. Obviously your defensive ability changes as well, as far as like how well you play it. Now, do y'all want, let me know what you guys think. If you think D-board is worth upgrading, or if you think interior defense is worth having. This is the thing, in my opinion. I'll just give a little description on this, and then we'll get to my honorable mention build. But I'm not going to describe the honorable mention build very much. I'm just going to talk on this play slash, because I think this is, or the play defender, because I think this is what deserves the most kind of talk about. So anyway, like I said, I'm just going to go ahead and show y'all this pure sharp build at number 5. My bad, not the number 5, the honorable mention. Okay, so anyway, we're going to talk about the play defender still though. So that build, there's really no purpose of making a play slash, because I feel like the play defender does the exact thing you'd want that to, but with better defense. Now, you lack the playmaking a little bit if you try to make up for it in any other way, like the finishing and defense. You can't have good defensive rebound unless you have low interior defense. That's kind of just how it works. You have a chain of like reactions here where you either like really don't value the finishing at all and just get one finishing badge and have like high driving dunk, which can be good enough if you ISO. Honestly, it can be good enough. But you have to be really good with the shooting if that's the case. And if that's the case too, you'd probably go low on the wingspan. So it's just tough to figure out. So understand, there's a lot of stuff that goes into that build with like the thought process behind it. I don't know, honestly, what to do for the most part. And that's why I'm leaving that up to y'all. I just showed the options you can go with and just kind of like this explanation and this like talk right here. So anyway, as far as this build goes, I'll give a slight description to this pure sharp as my honorable mention. This didn't make the list at top 5, and honestly, there's not a lot of point guard builds in the first place, so don't be wrong, this isn't a great build. Now, what I think about it is that with those extra shooting badges, you could be a true shot creator, honestly, and it's actually pretty tough to deal with on the 2s. And for the 3s, you can still provide like a good roll on this as well. Now, as you can see, I have the driving dunk maxed, and I think that would be nice to have. Now, if y'all don't want the driving dunk, and I would recommend to still leave post fade, you can still operate as a pure sharp pretty well with that. Now, and the same thing too, you're not going to the free throw line much in Pro-Am if you're a pure sharp. I would assume you're not getting fouled too much. Now, don't be wrong, it can be pretty dangerous if you're going to the free throw line with 63, but I do it all the time. I still shoot like 85%ish or something like that. But anyway, let me stick to the topic here. I don't think many of y'all that are watching are even into the Pro-Am stuff at that point anyway. But if you want to go with the 30 shooting and I think 15 playmaking, then you can go with this right here and just don't do driving dunk. But I don't recommend that. That's very easy to put you in a box and kind of just, you know, it kind of limits who you can play with too. Because as soon as you play with an outside big man, kind of toast. I mean, like, literally, there's not much you can do with that. You're just going to be slipping screens because people are going to play you super high, and then you're both pretty bad at finishing, and it's going to be a tough thing to deal with. All right, so I would say if you don't do driving dunk, you would probably want to play with an inside big and just spam screens, come off them fading and stuff like that. But I think this could be a very fun build. It's just the functionality of it is not the best. You're not really all that fast and all that, and it's kind of just tough to deal with. But anyway, obviously go with the sharp takeover if you do this, but I don't know, maybe if you play a lot of twos and you'd rather the shot creator, that's on you. Like I said, takeover is very much up to preference, but I would definitely recommend to go with shot on, or the sharpshooter takeover on this. So anyway, other than that, I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on them noties, all that good stuff, and let me know if you want to see the big man video on this. I'm probably going to bring it anyway, but if y'all really want to see it, feel free to drop a like and tell me that in the comments as well. If you made it to the very end of the video, put takeover in the comments, just to show that you made it all the way through, want to show your support and loyalty to me. But anyway, aside from that, like I said, if y'all want to see the bigs, feel free to let me know. I'm really looking forward to kind of like doing this, just because it's, like I said, it's a new look and feel to 2K20, and I'm actually kind of happy about it. I know a lot of y'all might not be, and honestly, if you made it this deep into the video, you're probably a big fan of this patch or just a big fan of me. All right, so anyway, positive vibes in this end of video. So anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed. Like I said, if you did, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, all that good stuff. Put takeover in the comments if you made it all the way through. And other than that, take it easy, man. Peace.